live look over the state capitol where the fight continues over child sex trafficking. Democrats today again rejecting another push to make it an automatic felony to purchase or solicit a 16 or 17-year-old for sex. Thanks for being with us at 6. I'm Golston Dart.
And I'm Edie Lambert. So this is now the third night this week we have covered this movement of this bill at the state capitol, with Governor Gavin Newsom having to get involved on Tuesday. So let's go to our Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala with what happened today. Ash?
Edie, not only did Democrats block this latest attempt to ramp up the penalties for the buyers in the child sex trafficking industry, they also sidelined Sacramento's Democratic Assemblymember Maggie Krell, who has made this her life's work. Democratic leaders promised to keep the conversation going, but they're leaving Krell, an expert, out of it. They criticized not just Krell, but also Governor Gavin Newsom. It was Denim Day in the State Assembly, the annual event when lawmakers can be seen in jeans and denim jackets for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. But some Democrats arrived to the Assembly floor Thursday hoping to avoid that talk, scrambling to shut down a Republican push to vote on a proposed automatic felony for the buyers or sex solicitors of 16 and 17-year-olds. After an hour of closed-door planning, Democrats emerged with a deal that stripped Sacramento's Democratic Assembly member Maggie Krell from her own bill that tries to crack down on the consumers of the child sex trafficking industry. She originally proposed the automatic felony for the older teens this year, noting state laws are inconsistent for the trafficker and the buyer. But that piece blocked by the Public Safety Committee earlier this week.
I want one thing out of this. I don't care whether my name's on the bill, but I would happily support it if it includes protections for 16 and 17-year-olds, if it treats them as victims, because they truly are, if it recognizes the fights that survivors have led for decades for the basic understanding that if you're 17 years old on a street corner and an old man comes up and purchases you for sex, that's rape. That should be treated as a felony.
Krell has spent 2 decades investigating human trafficking and was a prosecutor for the California Department of Justice before being elected to the Assembly last November.
She was facing a lot of the trauma.
She was a voice in KCRA 3's Escaping the Blade documentary about sex trafficking in Sacramento. In one scene, a trafficker urged law enforcement to go after the buyers.
If you want to stop human trafficking and little girls being put up and down these streets, if you want to really stop that, you arrest tricks. You arrest who demands it. You don't arrest who sells it. Because whoever sells it, they cannot sell it.
Are they businessmen?
Unless the person that buys it.
That's the problem, too.
Back on the Assembly floor, Krell's bill taken over by Assembly Public Safety Chairman Nick Schultz, who is promising to keep the conversation going.
I'm sorry that we couldn't see eye to eye on the solution here.
Some progressive Democrats are worried parents could use the punishment if they don't approve of their child's interracial or LGBTQ relationship with an older teen. Schultz accused the governor, who supports Krell's push, and the media of spreading false information about the state's child sex trafficking laws.
It is important to understand that 16 and 17-year-olds, minors of any age in the state of California that are contacted for a sexual purpose, that is punishable as a felony already. The governor made a statement earlier this week. I agree wholeheartedly with the governor's statement to the extent that it already states existing state law.
Republicans frustrated.
We don't need more time. We don't need to study this anymore. We need to make it just and change the law. That's what we push to do today. And unfortunately, a majority of the Democrats decided to continue this disparity when it comes to 16 and 17-year-olds. They are deserving of justice and protection.
Now, we should note during today's debate, the leader of the State Assembly, Speaker Robert Rivas, sat silently from his desk. He did not rise to speak. His office handed us this written statement that says, in part, protecting children and standing up for victims are among his top priorities this year.
So I think for those of us watching all of this unfold, even as well as you explain it, it is very hard to make sense of any of this.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is, what happens now that we have Assemblymember Schultz carrying the bill? It is no longer Assemblymember Krell's bill.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is a lot of time for this breather because this was an explosive, abrupt moment. None of this was planned on the Assembly floor. But Schultz tells us that with this bill, it will keep the conversation going. ongoing, and he's vowing to get a proposal put together on this issue that they'll send to the governor by the end of the summer. He says he still wants to have hearings on the issue this fall, as he told us earlier this week. The bill right now is sitting in the Assembly Appropriations Committee and could be changed again in its next hearing, but we'll just have to see. And this bill, as long as it's still alive, still has many hurdles, many committees that could change it. And so that means that this debate is going to be ongoing until potentially that felony is put in there, but we'll see.
And we really should point out the urgency with this, that children 16 and 17 years old are being victimized every day that is happening.
And right here
and right here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Yep. Ashley, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, with that in mind, as we continue to cover this issue with Ashley, we just want to remind you that we have this full in-depth documentary on the issue of sex trafficking in Sacramento. It's called Escaping the Blade. You can scan that QR code and find the stories from survivors and challenges that come with prosecuting the trafficker.